I feel like I've very much been on top of a lot of things the last few weekends, but it's a very difficult level to perform at all the time, and I have incredible drivers that I'm up against. So, my expectation and for myself is to try and perform at the same level, but that's not always a guarantee, and I know that it can also just change very quickly. Whether it's because you get unlucky or whether you're not performing at the perfect level, and the guys I'm up against can perform at that high level. Things can change very easily.
It's never the nicest feeling to see your lead disappear, but I think for me, the only thing you can do is just focus on what is ahead. I can't go back and change any of the things that have happened this year, and all I can do to try and give myself the best chance is focus on the next race, and that's what I've tried to do. It's obviously not been the easiest run for differing reasons in the last few races, but the only thing I can do is try and figure out how I'm going to do the best I can here in Vegas.
I mean, it's a lot of points, so I'm not really thinking about it too much, because there's also not much that I can do. We need a lot of luck now till the end to even have an opportunity. So I personally, I don't think about that.
Last year was a great race for us. The car definitely performs very well in these cooler conditions, but we've also got to be realistic that success a year ago doesn't mean you're going to have success a year later, and we won in Singapore this year, and we had a terrible race last year in Singapore in 2023. So it doesn't, in 2024, sorry. So it doesn't mean it's going to be the same case this weekend. And I think the likes of Red Bull have made big improvements on their low downforce setting as well. They won in Monza, one in Baku, so I expect them to be strong too.
I think it's going to be very tough because, I mean, again, on paper we are not the fastest anywhere we go, and when it's cold we normally struggle more than Mercedes, by example. So I think it will be a tough weekend, but I love this track and I hope we can turn the situation around.
Every single person in this team has worked so hard this year, and we're taking punch after punch after punch and still getting up. So that just shows the resilience of this team, and I'm so proud of everybody that I'm working with. If we were blessed with having a great result, it would be a huge boost for everyone, particularly back at the factory. And that's our goal. That's what we're working towards. That's what I'm dreaming of, and that's what I'll continue to work towards.
Another new track, so always very exciting coming into a new track. Obviously, it's a very different condition to what we've been used recently. Obviously, it's very cold and unexpectedly wet. Looks like it's gonna be wet probably as well for FP2 tomorrow. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But as always, we try to focus on the process, trying to learn the track as quickly as possible and get up to speed. But yeah, last year was good. Doesn't mean we're gonna be good this year, but hopefully, I really hope we can be as strong as last year. And on my side, I'll try to deliver the best result as possible and to enjoy as well.
This race stands out to be a strong track for us. I think in the simulator, maybe balance-wise doesn't feel fantastic. I don't think it feels great for anyone, but it is on paper a quick track for us. This track is generally always about tyre temperature, and being in the desert in the winter, it's not easy here. Long straights to cool the tyres down. We've always had issues here every year we've been here, so the emphasis is a lot on tyres this weekend.
3 times in the points is not bad, but obviously the competition also scored and sometimes outscored us, so obviously that weighs in a bit, and we try obviously to change that. Here this weekend, obviously cold temperatures. We'll have to see how the tires behave and how the package likes the circuit. Personally like it here. It's just a little bit too cold for my taste, but it is what it is, and we'll push through.
Honestly, this track I am going in the unknown because it's very weird. It's very low grip surface with a Monza rear wing, so it's the lowest grip you'll feel of the whole calendar. It's also like big braking zone, so it's gonna be a big setback from Brazil, what I felt underneath me. So I don't really have expectations, I'm just very curious.
I definitely think momentum is a powerful thing. within the team, you see the atmosphere is at an all-time high because we're on a good run. So that makes everyone work, that 1% harder. It makes myself work that 1% harder too. And I think that, pushes us forward. And like I said, we're on a good run. Now the target is for these last three to give the absolute maximum because we have a great opportunity. The car is very fast, so we want to see what we can do in these last few races.
I think it's going to be tight always. Things will be stressful in qualifying, Q1, Q2, hopefully Q3, and then in the race, we have to see last year. I remember graining was an issue on the tires, so we have to try to mitigate that on the setup tomorrow on the free practice. Weather as well, rain yesterday, a little bit of more rain today than expected. We should be open for anything.
On paper, it should be a good track for us. Also, I've always been quick here, so looking forward to it. At the same time, on paper also, given it's cold and difficult to get the tires to work, that we know that's also our biggest weakness as a team in qualifying. So that will compensate us with a very difficult challenge, to be competitive this weekend. So I'm pretty sure if we get the tires working and everything working, we will be quick. It's all about seeing if we are able to do so.
It's a very different track. It's probably the most different track that we go to this year. It's challenging. It's a very tough race. Last year was very, very tough for us. So I think we've spent a lot of time looking at last year's data and for me looking at everything that happened last year and trying to learn from it because it was probably the toughest race I had in the car last year. So I'm sure it's going to be challenging. But as you said, the speed's been very good recently across most tracks we've been to. So even tracks we weren't so good at last year. So hopefully that follows through this weekend as well.
I think our car is not the best for this kind of track with the long straights and all that. Throughout the year, it hasn't been the best kind of tracks for us with the long straights. But maybe some rain and some stuff that can happen.
Since we've brought the upgrade, I think the car has been coming into much better form since Austin, and we've been able to get some good points as a team for those. So looking forward to see what we can achieve. Obviously, it is a weekend here that I really enjoy. I finished 4th here 2 years ago, so it was a good memory. And it is a one that brings opportunities. A lot happens in turn 1. It's very difficult to get the tires up to temperature, so you can make the difference with that quite a bit. We don't know if it's going to be raining also at times, so that could be a first. I mean, there's a lot of things that will come into play, but I really look forward to see what this car can do here and if we can get the same performance as the last races.
I just want to score points as much as possible, especially last few races been a bit of, I would say, mix between. I'm sure last race in Brazil, it was a race that I could score points easily as well. I think around P8, P7 could be easily possible. Even before that, Mexico as well. It just so far missing out those things with a couple of reasons, and I'm sure last race obviously my front wing didn't help as well, but also some other things that I couldn't control made me in that position how I ended up. So at least good news is the pace is there, and so far every race has been the race that easily you can see that I'm able to score points, and that's the most important thing. I just put it all together, and I just have the same target as usual for next 3 races or few races.
Brazil, I must say, was a really good weekend for the whole team. Everyone at the factory was quite happy. It's been a long year, pretty difficult for everybody. Obviously, we know what we're working on, and in a few weeks' time, we're on to a very different project. But glad to see everyone is still giving their best, and we managed to reward the team with point scoring in the sprint on Saturday, P10 in the race, and in the mix, actually fighting for more relevant positions. So it was good, and
yeah, now on to a new weekend, very different conditions, different track. We'll see what happens.
We have prepared a lot in the sim and not track walking. Has been raining a lot so far, so not a good idea to get out there. But yeah, definitely did a lot of preparation to this new track for me, and it looks nice.
I think here it's a track that is very different, very specific compared to previous races we've been at. This tarmac is very tricky as well, so you know, not really expecting anything amazing, but I think Pierre had a really good weekend here in 24, so it's looking good. I think we improved a lot compared to Mexico, to Austin, and we did some good steps in the right direction. So let's see where we are at.